guys, and welcome to askmark number 32. I'm pretty sure it's 32, guys. I'm pretty sure.
32?
32, yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, I feel like we did. Yeah, we've done 31. I don't feel like we've done 32 yet. Yeah, 32. Let's go with 32.
Yeah.
If not, it's 32B.
Oh, that'd be a fun thumbnail. I don't know. Anyway, Mark, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday, Mark. Good morning to people that are listening to this as a podcast, and happy afternoon and happy Friday afternoon, should I say, to everyone who is watching this on YouTube. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. But Mark, before we start this wonderful episode, how the devil are you today?
I'm all right. Yeah, the dogs have been walked. It was drizzly today, so the dogs were really not into their walk. They're like, let's just go home. Why are we out here? Yeah. But I did get to try out my new sort of walking shoes. Start to break them in. I can't remember the name of the brand. I want to say Salawa. They've got bright green laces. So.
Where did you purchase said walking shoes, young Mark?
I bought them from WebTogs.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a nice website that you may have heard of.
No, I've never heard of them. Wow. Cool.
But no, it was good considering because I was in no rush for them. I'm going away in September, hopefully, and I need a new pair of waterproof shoes. So I was like, I'll just pay like the most basic of shipping rates because I don't need them sort of too soon. I ordered them like last thing on like a Friday afternoon, about 2-3 o'clock, and then they arrived like first thing Monday morning.
Awesome.
So I was like, okay, that's impressive. Well, thank you.
And also as well, you've helped the environment because because of your order, WebTogs are now going to plant a tree. There you go. Exciting times. So yeah, which maybe one day Simply Scuba might do. We're going to plant.
Yeah, we are looking into something. Yeah, we're looking into plant.
No.
Go on then, you can do it. You say
no, I was
you're
going to
leading.
say we were going to throw trees in the ocean. We're going to dig them up, get the ones that WebTogs planted, dig them up, chuck them in the ocean.
Not quite. No, we're planning on. We're looking into mangrove trees. That would be quite nice.
Yes.
Because that does help with like soil erosion, all that kind of stuff, and the marine environment as well. Every order on Simply Scuba plants a mangrove tree. We're just dotting T's and crossing I's and make sure that everything sort of works behind the scenes. But yeah, that's something that we're looking into.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler alert. And if it doesn't happen, sorry.
It's all Mark's fault. He angers the powers that be.
Jinxed it.
You jinxed it, mate. Anyway, let's swiftly move on to the questions. So the first question is from Gavin Smith. What water temperature, Mark, would you call cold?
So the industry has a couple of temperatures that are official, like cold waters. We have 10 degrees Celsius and the more important 4 degrees Celsius. So I think across most of the industry, they consider 10 degrees C water temperature officially. Now it's cold water. But 4 is what a lot of regulators are sort of more concerned about, because around like 3.3 degrees Celsius, once you get below that temperature, that's when the water temperature is no longer warm enough to be able to literally warm up the metals as the gases pass through the valves. So the chances of valves from freezing open are greatly increased. As far as like skin temperature, that's very subjective. I think anything under 18 degrees is probably what I'd say. Yeah, that's kind of cold. That's why I tend to jump into my dry suit instead of a wetsuit. But yeah, I think officially, and you'll see it on quite a few regulators as well, 10 degrees Celsius is kind of what they're sort of tested to. And if they're defined as warm water regulators. It means that you can't dive in water temperatures below 10 degrees. It has to be above 10 degrees. But yeah, that's what the industry considers cold water.
Chilly. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's good to have that industry standard, but again, like when it comes to the equipment, but yeah, when it comes to personal preference, that's a very tricky question, isn't it?
Yeah,
Very
yeah. I mean, I
tricky.
like room temp. Yeah, I mean, my car's usually set to 21 degrees Celsius. I mean, sort of in the home, don't know, sort of 19, maybe 20 degrees Celsius. That's kind of my temperature. I remember the office was usually set to what, 22, 23 or something.
I was either sweating like a mother trucker, or I was layering up. Like that's one thing I've never liked about that office, our old office, was literally one person would go. I mean, it's like this with every office, isn't it? You know, one person would go and change the temperature, and then. Or do you remember it? Like, we used to be a part of the early club, so we used to get to the office before like 8 o'clock in the morning. So we'd all rock up, we'd set the room temperature to how we wanted it, and it was for like the first hour or so, it was lovely. Everything was either
Comfortable.
Yeah, it was comfortable, and then other people would come in, and then it was just all hell would break loose for that entire day. But that's true with every single office, with every single human being, because everyone feels the temperature differently, don't they?
Yeah. I think there have been like proper studies into it where sort of females naturally sort of prefer a slightly, like a couple of degrees warmer than males. But yeah, it's just you have to get on with it.
You do.
Now we're working from home. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, like you can be in a room between your landing and your toilet, and as soon as you shut the doors, it's a sweatbox. Other than winter, it's nice in winter. It's the warmest room in winter, but during the summertime, it is blooming awful. Anyway, they don't want it. The viewers, the subscribers, the watchers, they don't want to hear about my problems with hot rooms and cold rooms. Let's jump on to question number 2. It's from Travelling Teacher Tales, a very popular. They like to post on Instagram, don't they, Mark? That's where the majority of their questions come from, which again, we find them on Instagram. Just use the hashtag askmark. Anyway, they say, I only have one high port on my reg set, which I currently use for my SPG, but I have been brought to an AI unit to go with my computer. I travel a lot, so should I ditch the SPG? I can't find a HP splitter anywhere. So yeah, please help them out, Mark.
They are fairly rare. Some first stages, they only have one high pressure port, so you have to pick and choose between an analog SPG, submersible pressure gauge, or a wireless air transmitter. I think transmitter technology is pretty good and trustworthy nowadays. I'd be quite happy just diving with an SPG. The only thing is just to make sure that the battery is topped up or replaced regularly. The pairing is nice and secure. Otherwise, I mean, I have a picture on my desktop, and it's a diver, and they have
picture of me.
They have 3 hoses coming out of their first stage. It's kind of an over-shoulder kind of look as they're swimming along the reef. They have one hose for their primary second stage that they're breathing from, one hose that leads to their inflator hose, because they've got an air integrated inflator, so they can use that as an alternate air source, and then it just goes to a transmitter. And that's it. So your regulator is very small, very light and compact. So if you are traveling a lot, as your name suggests, then it's perfect. I do prefer an analog backup if I'm ever diving, just because the batteries can never run out of a pressure gauge. There's no battery. But as long as you're keeping an eye on your air pressure from time to time during the dive, as you should, then you should never be surprised. You can kind of gauge, last time I checked it, I had 120 bar. It's been about 5 minutes, so I'm still going to have, about 100 bar or something. Then, as long as you kind of keep on top of it, it normally alerts you if it loses connection, so you have a rough idea of how much you have left. But Yeah, I think this is the way sort of some divers are going to move
Alright.
towards.
Someone's been watching The Mandalorian. This is the way.
I have. This is the way. I think it's the way that some divers are going to start to move towards, especially traveling divers. Yeah, all we just need to do now is get like a wirelessly chargeable transmitter. That would be quite cool. I don't know why we don't have that. We just have transmitters with
That's a
those
good
stupid
point.
half AA batteries that you have to replace once every year or two.
That's a very good. Yeah, I'm surprised they've not done that, because I've seen inside the transmitters, obviously from working in the warehouse and looking at transmitters and obviously doing my training with I think it was Aqualung. And yeah, they're very spoilers.
It's just a chipboard.
Yeah, it's very it's the most basic thing ever. Like the fact that they can't put some sort of literally you can put it on one of those wireless chargers with one bam. Maybe that'd be next.
Yeah, I imagine someone's already thought of that and they're working on it.
Yeah,
because that would be perfect. You just have one transmitter; it lasts for ages. Something like the pelagic range, because they're, in my opinion, the best at the moment. And you just sort of pop it on one of those chi or key or whatever they call it chargers. That just tops it up. Bing bang bosh.
Yeah.
Go for your next dive.
That sounds cool. This is either going to be a really dumb question, so it is going to be a dumb question, but hopefully a curious one. So obviously they spoke about splitters for high pressure. Is there nothing
They
that
do
can...
exist.
No, I'm not saying about that, but is there a way that you can fit an adapter to a low pressure where the air comes through and then it basically transmits it, and then like the valve's smaller, stop shaking your head, and then it becomes, it basically transfers it to a high pressure? I mean, I don't think that's possible, but that's...
No. No, by that point it's so you have sort of basically two chambers inside of the first stage. So the gas will come in at the bottom, let's say, and that's the high pressure chamber, and that's where your high pressure ports come out. So that is at the full pressure of whatever is inside of your tank. Then it goes past the valve in the center of the first stage to the low pressure section. So that will be 8-9 bar or something, and that's what feeds your second stages, your low pressure inflator hoses, all that kind of stuff. So it would have to come off the high pressure section. And then if you did it the other way around, you just had one hose and then you went to feed a high pressure outlet and then a low pressure outlet, you'd need another first stage on there to step it down. So no, you can get high pressure splitters, which are just wise. They do the job. They do add sort of extra failure points, and they're relatively clunky. But you could fit it to a hose if you wanted to. But nowadays, as long as you check the battery, you should be fine.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Sweet. Have you? Yeah. Any other thoughts in the comments? Let us know. Let's go to question 3. So this is from Michael. He left this question on the Aqualung Rogue BCD unboxing, and he says, "Can you dive doubles with it?"
It's not really what it's made for. I mean, if you really, really wanted to, you probably could, as long as your buoyancy is down sort of perfect, and you didn't need that like redundant buoyancy from the bladder. They'd be very wobbly because the Rogue doesn't have a solid backplate, so there's nothing to really sort of bolt them onto. You can get like sort of plates, they're kind of U-shaped, but it's really not the answer if you want to dive twins properly. You need a proper backplate to bolt your twins onto. That way it's strong and secure and it's moving. Whereas with something like a Rogue, It's made for single cylinders, doesn't really have the mounting attachment points for twins, and as soon as you twist, your tanks are just going to flop around. It's just going to be a real pain. So no. It's built for single cylinders. It'll do that great. If you want to move on to twins, then just back plates. It really is the way to go.
Yeah, cool. So no.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
Yeah. What's the point in trying to bodge something when you can just buy the right equipment from the get-go, you know?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Right, so question number 4 is from David. He says, I'm looking into buying the Tusa Conquest 11 BCD, and I was wondering how you feel about the hybrid BCDs and if you think this is a good choice.
So it's the Conquest 2. I think it's like Roman numeral.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was going to say, they've made 11 of those. I've not.
Yeah. So hybrid has a few different sort of meanings sometimes in the BCD world. In this case, it's basically a jacket style BCD with the back section kind of puffs up, so it almost has like a wing sort of shape when it's fully inflated. So it still inflates around you, but at the back it sort of inflates more like a wing. So that way when you're diving along and you're horizontal in the water, most of the buoyancy is up high. It stays away from those side pockets, so it keeps you nice and trim. If you like a jacket style BCD, then this is probably the best sort of configuration for you, because you still get that sort of wraparound, you still have those pockets on the side, integrated weights, all that kind of stuff. But when you actually put some buoyancy in the BCD, it's allocating it in a better area. It's more down towards your hip, which is where most divers need to sort of lift up a bit to be actually horizontal in the water. So yeah, if you do like jacket style BCDs and that's definitely what you want to go for, then yeah, a hybrid is going to be your best option, because it's going to hold you nice and comfortably in the water.
Cool. Sweet. Nice one, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds cool. Again, if you've got the Conquest 2, not 11, and what are your thoughts about it? You know, if you've used it over time, let us know your thoughts, and let's help David out as well. So adds to the whatever I was going to say.
Conversation.
Yeah, that's the badger. That's the badger. Number. Woo woo woo! Today's sponsor by askmark is that person's car alarm. So thank you. To click on the link below to find out more about that car alarm. Yeah, to turn it off. Yeah. Right. Let's just move on. It's sponsoring. It's fine. So question number 5 is from Michael, a different Michael. I know it sounds weird, but there's more than one Michael in the world. I think there's at least 3. So we've got two out of the 3 Michaels here. He says, "Hey, I've a set of twin steels." Sorry, I want to say that again. I was doing so well. He says, "Hey, I have a set of twin steel 80s, and I'm diving them with an X-Deep Hydros with 40-pound lift with no weights. I feel a bit heavy. Should I upgrade to 60-pound lift wing? And if so, which one? X-Deep have one? Question mark. Maybe the Scuba Pro X-Tech 60. What are your thoughts, young Marky Mark?"
So twin steel 80s, so they're like 11 litres. It's like a complete different language for me, thinking about 80s. I think an 80, because an alley 80 is like an 11.1 litre, which is similar to our sort of steel 12s. That's the language that I know, and pretty much what I dive on. If you're diving with 40 litres, 40 pounds of lift in your bladder, but you're still feeling heavy, is that when you're like at depth and fully inflated? Because that's pretty darn heavy, especially if you're not wearing any lead. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, yeah, if you're at depth and you're struggling to maintain neutral buoyancy, even though your BCD is fully inflated, then yes, going up, so the bladder capacity is going to help, and that is what you need. I'm surprised that you're having this issue with no weights, because even with my dry suit, oh, I suppose that's it. If he's only diving in a rash vest, because with my dry suit, with my twin steel 12s, steel back plates, I still need in salt water a good few kilos to get down. But hey, yeah, if you are struggling with buoyancy, then yeah, going up lift capacity is going to help. X-Deep do have a 50-pound hydros. It's not as sort of prevalent. I think the standard one is 40 because that's the most traditional capacity. Scuba Pro, they do have the X-Tech. I think they do a 45 and a 60. Apex, obviously, I always sort of go to Apex.
Mark is sponsored by Apex. Oh dear.
That's basically it. If you're struggling with your buoyancy and you do need extra capacity in the wing, then yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer to sort of go up. I am a little surprised. I mean, it might just be that you are solid muscle and you do sink really readily, and you're diving in like fresh water with no exposure protection, so you are particularly negatively buoyant with like a 6mm stainless steel backplate. I mean, that is another consideration. Swap your steel backplate if you are diving with a steel backplate for an aluminium. That's saving a few kilos. Stick with X-Deep. Touchwood, they are very nice wings. They also have the NX project. Wing? I just want to know what buoyancy the NX project wing has.
7,000.
Don't lie, Sean.
7,000 pounds.
Tech. 23 kilos. What is that in pounds? This is another thing, trying to convert. I want to turn that into pounds. So that's a 50 pounds. So you could look at the NX Project wing. That's a bit of an upgrade from the Hydros up to the NX Project. It's got some sort of cooler detailing and reshaping and slightly more buoyancy by the looks of it. So maybe that's an option. But otherwise, yeah, check out the Apex WTX. That'll be a D60. Or 65. No, it's the 45 and the 60, because that's a good traditional wing. Otherwise, yeah, Scuba Pro, they're pretty tough and have pretty good layouts. I think they've updated the inflator as well. But yeah, if you are struggling with buoyancy, just up your bladder capacity.
Sweet. I'm glad that can help. Again, in the comments, if you've had any issues with buoyancy, very much like Mr. Michael II, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's help him out. So the last question is a bit of a long one, but it's fine. It's fine. You leave the best. I say the best. They're all very good questions this week. I've not had to chuck in and ask Sean, which has been awesome. So thanks for that. But this is from. We don't know. In all honesty, their name is undisclosed person, so it could be any.
That was their YouTube username, which I do quite like.
No. This is the Queen. So the Queen has asked. The Queen of England says, I did a dry suit course the other week in a brand new Senti E-Motion custom made for my size. All right, bragging rights.
Nice. Yeah, very nice.
After both pool sessions and open water dives, I was soaking wet. Oh dear. The dive shop serviced the dry suit inflator valve, as it seemed to be mostly wet below that, between the pool sessions and the open water dive. Then they put it on me, inflated it, and hosed me down to find it leaks. Oh, they couldn't find a leak anywhere. Couldn't find...
Okay.
Yeah, couldn't find leaks
they
and couldn't find it anyway. Yeah, that's cool. Couldn't find any leaks. What's the likely cause of this ingress? Because I was freezing when diving in tropical water. I would not like that to happen in actual cold water. I have a booked trip to Antarctica. Yeah, that would be a bit chilly, mate.
Yeah, slight difference.
Yeah, honestly, the experience didn't sell me on dry suit diving at all. Oh, Mark, that's your forte, dry suit diving.
Yeah.
Let's help the Queen out for when she goes to Antarctica. Antarctica. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's quite tricky diagnosing exactly where leaks are coming from on dry suits because, I mean, the usual complaint is, my feet were wet because water naturally travels downwards. So trying to work out exactly where that leak is, even if you found that you're getting wet here, it could be that a seam is leaking over your shoulder and the water's just traveling through that seam and then finally making it into the suit, further down the suit. So it is quite tricky. The dive center did the right thing. They checked out the valve because that kind of makes sense. What I would look at is the neck seal as well. Just make sure that neck seal, one, it fits you properly, but two, that you're not looking around too much, because if you've got your seal around your neck, it's best to look with your shoulders. So if something happens above you, you literally move with your shoulders and you twist and turn, because if you move with your neck, then you're literally moving the skin underneath that seal, and just that little movement could just allow water to get in.
So what you're saying, sorry to interrupt, what you're saying is that people need to think like Batman.
Like Batman, move with his shoulders with dry suits, just to remove any kind of movement in that neck seal. Also make sure the neck seal is the right size, because they do come in different sizes. It might just need that you need to go down a size. I've never positive pressure tested a dry suit on a person before. That's quite unique. I used to use an old plastic trash can, a bin. That was like the perfect size to fill that neck seal. So you put that inside the dry suit, plug that neck seal, a couple sort of drinks bottles in each cuff, lay it down in the floor, inflate it completely with the auto dump closed, and then with some sort of soapy water just spray all over the suit, and just keep inflating that suit. Look for any kind of bubbles, if there are any bubbles coming out of the suit. If it's a brand new suit from Santi, I don't think this is the issue. They are a very good dry suit manufacturer. I don't think I've ever seen one sort of leaking, especially brand new. But peace of mind, is sort of interesting to see. Another one could be if you disconnect your dry suit hose and then reconnect it in the water. That can shoot a bit of water into the suit. Small amount of water, not a lot, but it is a bit of a surprise when you press it and it's just splashes some water against your chest if you're not wearing a thick undersuit. But yeah, by the sounds of it, I'd be looking at your neck seal. If you're just sort of moving your neck around a bit too much, then yeah, that's usually a leading cause of water ingress. Otherwise, yeah, if you've leak tested it, I don't know, maybe the zipper. I'd be impressed, because that's around the same place on a E-motion, because you've got the chest valve, front entry as well. It could be something to do with that, but normally that happens down towards your hip where the actual sort of opening is. But yeah, I'd be looking at the neck first thing if someone came to me sort of asking those kind of questions.
Okay, cool. So what I've established from that is that if you're a dry suit diver, technically you're Batman now. And if you want to check for leaks, you check for leaks like you do for a puncher in a mountain bike.
Pretty much, yeah.
You fill it up and then you just see if there's any bubbling.
Yeah, soapy water. That's basically it. Just and
see
all
if there's
over
a
the
fizzle.
suit. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you can try and shine a torch underneath, but if it's a traveling leak, it's somewhere up a seam. You'll never find it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, dry suits, yeah, most dives you'll come back dry, but you do come back wet on some dives. Unfortunately, it always amazes me when people will say, "Oh, well, I was 60 meters underwater and I came back wet." And it's like, well, you were submerged underwater for an entire hour, and you've got like a few milliliters of water in your suit. That's quite a good, impressive thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, if you head over to webtalks.com and you were to buy a waterproof jacket and waterproof trousers underneath your dry suit and a pair of walking boots, no problems.
I mean, yeah, most dry suits as well, dry suit undersuits as well, you won't even notice. If you're diving in tropical waters and you're not wearing much underneath it, then you will notice. But when you're diving in colder waters with a cold water undersuit, they're so good nowadays that you don't even notice. I used to teach all the time, and you come back, you take your dry suit off, and you're like, oh, my entire sleeve is just sopping wet. But I had no idea because my undersuit was just so effective at just keeping me warm and feeling dry as well. It's impressive tech.
Cool, man. All right. Any other tricks and tips that you have for testing leaks on dry suits? Let us know in the comments below, or if you've had a similar incident with the Emotion, or like another dry suit as the Queen. And what this was, the Queen, undisclosed person, the Queen.
Undisclosed person, yeah.
Let us know in the comments below. And if you're listening to this, obviously you can either put the comments in SoundCloud, but you're better off just heading over to YouTube and typing the comment in there. And that is it. That is another episode 33 of Ask Mark. 32. We've established this 32. 32B,
or
maybe.
32B.
Yeah. Even if it's not 32, even if it is 32, we'll call this episode 32B. Because why not? Go crazy. That's it, guys. So, you know what? I'm going to end it. So, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to everyone who answered or submitted a question. If you want to submit a question, you can by using the hashtag askmark. So any video or any of our videos, should I say, that's on our YouTube channel, type in your question, and then at the end, in the middle, at the beginning, wherever you want to stick it, whack in the hashtag askmark. We will then find that question because it's a hashtag. Basically, it doesn't allow it straight away. It gets put in the pending file, so then we can see that there's questions, we accept it, and then, hey presto, then we'll put it into the show. So that's that ticked off. What else do you normally say, Mark?
I'm wearing some kind of t-shirt at the moment.
Yeah, we have. If you love the Simply Scuba YouTube channel, if you could do us a solid, and at the bottom of all of our videos, you'll see a link to our spring store. So it's again, it's something that I'm working in motion at the moment, but basically we sell our own t-shirts, from t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, you name it. It's all our own merch, and all the proceeds through Teesprings, or should I say Springs, gets put into the Simply Scuba YouTube bucket. It is a bucket. No, do you know what? We'll say dive cylinder. It gets put into the YouTube dive cylinder. So then eventually what will happen over time is once we want to start filming exciting projects, and when we get our new studio, those funds from that will go towards building a new studio, getting equipment, or if we want to do specialist videos as well, which we are working on with another part of the company that we're in at the moment. So yeah, that's a long story, a long paragraph to say buy our t-shirts, links down below. But please take a look. And again, I'm looking at that over the next week or so. So there's going to be more colour variations. There will be more designs going forward. So there will be a mass improvement. Because we went down an eco route, and I thought, I'll go down the eco route or the conscious route. That'll be nice. It did okay, but obviously people still want nice bright red coloured t-shirts. And I'm like, fine. Yeah, because at the moment, the eco range is like black or like a weird grey blue. Which is
they don't do weird. A lot, do they?
No, they don't. But hey, they got to start somewhere, I guess. But yeah, so we're working on that. That's it. Thanks. Oh no, we have a website as well. Yeah, website simply. I was going to say the other simplyscuba.com, not one of our technically now our competitors. Well, not really a competitor, but they're no longer part of the company. But yeah, if you want to see the latest updates and the latest scuba diving gear, head over to our website simplyscuba.com. have a browse. We've updated our headers so things are a lot easier for the customer to pick the right section and to take a look at the right thing. My favourite page on the website is the new in. You click on that and that just tells you exactly what has been freshly dumped, should we say, in a nice way on our website. So yeah, check out new in. A video, basically the new in tab as well. I'm butchering this. This is awesome. Pretty much most of our videos that don't have a sponsor or aren't about a specific product have new in on the end of the video anyway. So if you do want to see what's new in, just click on that button at the end there. So Teesprings is done. Website's done. Hashtag askmark is done. I think we're done, guys. So on that note,
about it.
I'm gonna end the show. Thanks for watching, everyone, and stay classy, scuba divers.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and safe diving.